So that leaves my turn. If you've known, I put in 20,000 stage hours in my lifetime. It didn't start out the way I am now. People think I'm natural on stage, lots of energy, I'm good. Practice. It really is. It's just practice, like playing an instrument, like doing your job, anything like that. So I want you to have that context first before I share my story. I want you to know what it takes for me to get up here. And the context for my speech, life is a team sport. That's my quote. Now, I was raised an only child. Team wasn't really in my vocabulary. I was a latchkey kid. My mother worked from usually about 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. So she wasn't there when I got home from school usually because she was on the way to work. I got into acting when I was younger. Some of you know that. And I thought it was a solo sport. You get up, you speak, you're the one talking, it's your voice. But then as I got into my career later, I learned it's not a solo sport. The great movies I loved, right? The ones that moved me. Somebody had to put the light for the actor to be seen. Somebody had to capture the sound of his voice. Otherwise, right? Somebody had to put the decoration around. Thank you, by the way, for the sign. I appreciate it. I like that color scheme, by the way. I do. It does. Look at this. It's kind of coordinated. I'm like, look at your life, man. Now, I want to point out that as well. I came in the room. I used to come into rooms as a presenter and have to set up the whole room by myself. Let me get the chairs, the chairs, the people, blah, blah, blah. That's not how it is now. Now I look for opportunities to empower others. As you heard earlier, some of our speakers said. How can you empower others in life to be great? Now, I don't know his story about art or writing. I would ask you, though, how many of you have felt awkward about writing something because maybe your handwriting wasn't perfect? Right? Or, yeah, come on, put them up, man. It's like 60% of the room. Those are opportunities, though, where I get to give somebody else an opportunity to be empowered by something as small as that. So let me share about how life was a team sport for me. When I was living out of my car in high school, as a senior, my mother had moved again. I told you earlier that she had hitchhiked across the nation. 14 different schools I went to in my lifetime. I dropped out as a sophomore to help pay rent. I went back as a junior. As a senior, my mother moved again. But I was on a team. I was on my swim team. And I was on my crew team. And I got introduced to what it took to be a team sport. Now you might think, well, you're a swimmer. That's a single sport. Well, it is unless you do the relay. And then you got to have the guys that need to be there on the other and pass and touch the hands. But really where it came together was that when I was rowing crew on the Boston River. Anybody familiar with the Charles River? It's a cool spot, man. You get 8 guys in a boat with these oars that are longer than my wingspan. And I got some pretty good arms, really. I fly pretty high in life. You got 8 guys that need to be in sync on those oars coming, because here's what happens if those oars aren't in sync. They need to be moving. And I really got clear about what a team is. Took me forward, went further, but in my neurons, in our childhood, our past, we carry what's been. We do, we carry it, even if we think positive. When my life really changed, when I really spoke up for my life, though, was when I was single. I'd never been married. I was kind of scared of women. I was raised by a woman. She made some mistakes. I had some viewpoints about that. I was at a party. Probably 2,000 people. This is 5-6 years ago, Halloween party. I'd seen a woman walk into this party. She looked quite lovely. In a baby blue dress. It was a flapper dress. If you're familiar, it's the ones with all the tassels on it. I like tactile things. She was walking towards me. And I didn't really know what to say. What do you say? You know the joke. What's your line? What's your line? How do you do it? And people think I'm like that. I get that feedback. But I'm not like that. I'm very nervous. I've been that way. You know what my line was? Hey, where are you going? That was it. She stopped in her tracks. I talked for a few minutes. Had an interesting moment or two conversation. And I said, listen, because I'm a no pressure kind of guy. I said, I'm going to go look around the rest of the party. I'll come find you later. Just to give her the kind of let the bird go. And if the bird's interested, the bird will come back kind of a philosophy, if you follow that. I'm a big fan of that. because I don't like clinging people, because I don't like to be that way. I don't like people to cling on me. Found her later, stayed in touch. I've now married this woman, my wife, Nicole. It was significant in my life because now I'm in front of rooms doing this because she supported me finding my speaking club where I would practice actually articulating something so I can make an impact on people's lives, to where the point where I would actually even create something as bold as Speak Up for Your Life. Like, how outrageous this is to me is beyond. And what I really realized, though, in the team sport element is that it really is about giving to other people. So I want you to understand that she taught me in our marriage to bring this into my seminars, my classes, my events. Because you are the reason I'm here. You are. You're the reason. You're every one of you that stood up in your life to say something, that jumped over a table. To say something to the world, somebody will see this somewhere. Somebody in this room is excited about their life. They're going to take action further than they would before. And that's the way I look at life now as a team sport. Look at all the stuff we've created that other people were part of. Other people participated. So I would ask you, look in your life, where are people that you see around you that you can inspire to participate in their own lives? To go after something maybe they're a little nervous about. Talk to a girl maybe they're a little nervous about. Start a company that you might be a little nervous about or they're nervous about. Find out how they can support you. And in doing that, give them an opportunity to really step up into something fantastic. That's why I come here. That's it. Just so you know. I'm the last speech. I do a little opening, a little in between. However, it's for you that we do this over and over, and I'm going to keep on rocking this. I see this as a good event that will continue growing. I give a chance for people that are doing things, saying things that make a difference. You can feel it in the room. How many of you can feel it in the room? You know, like, yeah, right? And I want you to know, I was a guy that used to, like, hide out in my apartment. I run a virtual marketing company. I work from home. It's easy to just be home, do a little work, and hang out, drop on the couch, have a sip, have a smoke, whatever those things were in my life. So now it's changed a little bit, and I'm excited you're here. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your future. I'm excited for what you're going to create. And I want to thank you so much for coming out and joining me on an event that means so much to me on a personal level. I want you to understand how emotionally important it is for me. So with that said, I get to do the thing I love best and say thank you so much for coming to Speak Up for Your Life.